UFO secrets are spilling, and 2025 could shift everything. Fresh leaks are lighting up the web, and as a QHHT practitioner and remote viewer, I've seen it. Is it alien contact? Is there a psychic flow? Is it interdimensional? What is going on? Is disclosure actually going to take place? Let's talk about it. So, what's got everyone buzzing? It's 2025, and UFOs are back in the spotlight. Just this month, March 2025, declassified docs hit the web, and X is losing it with UFO disclosure posts. Over 50,000 posts and counting at this time. One leaks are wild. A Navy pilot's report of a triangle craft over Virginia, just off the coast. It was clocked at speeds we can't even touch. Mach 10 and no heat trail. Now, while we're all still reeling from these jaw-dropping UFO sightings, like the triangle craft screaming over Virginia at Mach 10, there's another layer to this mystery that's got people talking even louder. What happens when these things don't just zip by and vanish into the night? What if they crash? That's right, we're shifting gears from strange lights in the sky to something even wilder. Alien artifacts that crashed retrievals. Think Roswell 2.0, but with a modern twist that's sending shockwaves through X and beyond. So picture this. Whispers of a downed craft. Not just some weather balloon or busted drone, but something that looks like it was forged in another galaxy. Well, we've all heard the Roswell story from 1947. Mysterious wreckage, hushed up military ops, and decades of what-ifs. But now, fast forward to today, and the rumors are heating up again. Posts are popping off about alleged crash sites. With insiders, of course, some claiming ties to the military, hinting at recovered materials that don't match anything that we've got on Earth. Think lightweight materials that shimmer like nothing we have ever had in a lab, or a technology so advanced that it makes our best engineers scratch their heads. Okay, so we've just been talking about the wild possibility of crashed UFOs and alien artifacts, stuff that can be hidden away in some top secret vault. But what if the mystery isn't just about what's already hit the ground? What if it's still up there, buzzing around, watching us? Well, that brings us to our next head scratcher, mysterious drone swarms. Like the ones that freaked out New Jersey late last year. All the drones seen in the sky. Everybody was asking, what is up with all these drones in the weird fog? Well, let's just go ahead and set the scene. If you missed it, that is. The night skies over New Jersey, for example, lit up with dozens and sometimes hundreds of glowing objects. And we're not talking tiny backyard drones. No, we're talking eyewitnesses swore these were things that were big as cars, humming like lawnmowers and darting around in eerie formations. They popped up over suburbs, hovered near reservoirs, and even buzzed sensitive spots like the arsenal and military bases. One night, a cop reported seeing 50 of them sweep in from the ocean. Lights blinking red, green, and white. Well, right there. That should tell you everything you need to know. But we're going to remote view that, so hold on. Extraterrestrial communication signals. Back in 2007, Australia's Parkes Observatory caught the first fast radio burst, or FRB, a fleeting, fierce pulse from the void. Hundreds followed, like FRB 121102, tracked by Canada's chime since 2012, repeating from 3 billion light years out. These bursts blaze brighter than a day of sunlight in mere milliseconds. Science ties most to magnetars, or wild neutron stars, proven by a 2020 galactic hit. But then there's the wow signal. August 15, 1977, a 72-second scream from Sagittarius, sharp and unexplained. Scribbled with a stunned wow by astronomer Jerry Inman. No natural match, no repeat. Was it a fluke or a call? We've just tuned into the eerie hum of fast radio bursts, most pinned to magnetars. Yet outliers like the 1977 wow signal whisper riddles. Now, let's drop to Earth's UFO hotspots, where the unknown stalks us, Hudson Valley and beyond, tangled with crop circles too bizarre to dismiss. From 1982 to 1986, Hudson Valley logged over 5,000 sightings. Silent V-shaped crafts, lights throbbing, lingering near a nuclear plant before vanishing. The FAA stumped. Across the globe, Wiltshire, England, rules with 2,000 plus crop circles since the 1970s. The 2001 Chilbolton Formation stands out, a face eerily like Mars in the Sedona region. That shadowy visage stacked by Viking 1 in 1976, next to a grid mimicking the Arecibo message. Our 1974 radio shout to the stars about Earth's life and DNA. This reply, etched overnight in wheat, swapped carbon for silicon and tweaked the code. Perfect and no footprints. In 1996, Julia set 780 feet of fractal wonder, born in 45 daylight minutes and unseen. Even August 29, 2024, a fresh glyph bloomed, complex, unexplained, gazing from a hill. And hoaxers cannot touch this one. Let's get into the remote viewing of the top 5 picks and how that's going to tie into what I see is going to happen in 2025. But first, I want to bring your attention to mdhmap.com. If you're a seasoned professional healer, a Reiki healer, or even new to energy healing, check out mdhmap.com. It will streamline the process so much so that what used to take me up to 6 months doing energy healing on somebody who's really sick, it narrows it down to just days. And the reason for that is that it really walks you through step by step on how to clear energies. And going beyond that, it will take you to clearing the blueprint energetic field. Those are where the past lives are. The mental body, both the lower mind, the higher mind, it gets into the emotional body, and most importantly, dimensions and how to clear dimensions. It'll tackle pathogens, past lives, ancestral and soul contracts, right down to DNA and genes and even misalignments. If there's anything going on in the physical body, or if the body needs frequency or color therapy, it tackles it all. And it's a great companion for those people who are seasoned energy healers. But if you're new and you want to help your friends and family, this will walk you through step by step. Just start at the first steps and best practices page. And it will have several videos here that will walk you through how to get set up and get started. Just $12 a month, and you can cancel anytime. What do you got to lose? Please check it out. Our first remote view is going to be the recent sightings of military and how it ties into what I feel is going to happen in 2025. So we actually need to go back just a little bit to put this into further context. Remember the Tic Tac video that was released by the government? They're showing the UFO and it's starting all over the place. Here's the thing with that. I feel that was actually ours. But before you get disappointed, because that was kind of disappointing, I actually remote viewed that a little bit further. It does come from reverse engineering an alien craft. So let me just let you know up front. I do feel that there are off-worlders, and actually more than just that. I do feel that we have extraterrestrials coming, but there's also visitations from the interdimensionals. But we here at Miracles of Consciousness Radio, we want truth. And we don't want to be led down a path that's not true, because it gets us nowhere. And it also creates a layer of where we can be easily deceived. And we're not going to go down that road. So what I got is that there is an element, and I'll let you fill in the blank to who that is in charge of, that reverse engineered a downcraft. And this event that took place where the pilots videoed the Tic Tac UFO, that was actually man-made, how I see it, but it comes from a reversed engineered crashed UFO, and the pilots did not know this. So I feel like there's a couple of things going on, a few tests going on. They're testing their alien craft, and they are also testing the pilot's reaction to the alien craft, because that's going to be key. Now, it also feels that there's a faction or a group of people, maybe even a think tank or nefarious hoodoo doers, if you will, that are sort of holding how can they use this alien technology to their military advantage. And if you're sitting in their shoes and you're trying to go one step beyond destroying the planet with bad weapons, you might want to plan a, quote, UFO invasion to take control of the area, whether it be here, there, wherever. So it does feel that it is alien technology for sure. It feels like, however, this thing was actually made by us, whoever us is, and that it was a test to see how well it would work, and also test what the pilots, how they would react to that. To them, it was new. I mean, I do believe the reactions you hear on that video are very real. So, is there going to be more of that in 2025? I'm not getting there's going to be so much of that, because what I feel like's beginning to take place is this disclosure where the weight of the population becoming increasingly aware of how many times we've been lied to. We're beginning to you might have had that arrow in your quiver to use on an ignorant population to put them under your control, but I don't think the population's going to buy it. And that's why it's going to lead into the next thing. So, but before we get there, we got to talk about those alien crashes, because, like I just said, it all ties together. So, the alien crashes, that was the next thing on the list. It all ties in. I do believe there have definitely been UFO retrievals. Roswell is just one of several. Now, I wouldn't go into the hundreds, but I would definitely say they're in the several. And they, I believe, are truly reversed engineered. And you're not going to come right out and say, hey, we have a downed aircraft, come take a look. Let's share all this information. It's going to make our lives a whole lot easier. No, they're not going to do that, because they can use it to control the masses. But, like I said, drip by drip by drip, all this information keeps coming out. The item like a cell phone, this, I feel, when I remote view it, is alien technology at its heart. And if you look at it, if you really look at it, we went from Kitty Hawk, what was that, 1906, 19-something, where the first plane left the ground, to man on the moon in 66 years. Up until then, man had been using animal muscle to move us around. So when you think about it from that perspective, we have got our hands on these alien crafts, and we have done some reverse engineering. And all the UFOs that you see, they may have some alien technology. They may be testing alien UFOs that are being created by us. But, I do still feel there are off-worlders. I feel like they want to be called off-worlders. They are here. They are keeping their tabs on us. And I don't feel any harm. Now, I'm not saying that there's not an ET out there that might want to do us harm, because, good Lord, I mean, look at us. We're not exactly the peaceful beings. And if we go out, we might be a little hostile too. So, but I feel if they're designed, the people or the beings that are watching us and the retrievals that we've done, I'm not getting that they necessarily, I don't feel one way or the other. I feel like we're being observed. I think if they wanted to harm us, they would have done so. And that doesn't mean that there's not a few that might. But right now, overall, I am not getting that. I am not getting that there's off-worlders that have ill intent for us. I'm not getting that. But I'm not willing to go as far as saying they are all nice, because I don't know that. But yeah, that's what the alien crash retrieval. So it sort of ties in to what you're seeing with the military. I don't feel that the military is ever going to share anything with us that, well, maybe things are going to start to change, and let me get into that. But I don't feel like they're going to, it doesn't feel like they're going to share, or they haven't been willing to share anything that they can't control. It's about what they can control, what they can put out there, test the population, see how y'all react, see how the pilots react, and then go from there, because, hey, we might need that little nugget for us at some point in the future. Now, let's move on to drones. Most of the drones that the people have are small. They're not the size of SUVs that were reported, and they were reported everywhere, and reported big ones, ginormous ones, and some coming off of or from the ocean. Was there a ship out there? Who knows? But what I get, that was all man-made, obviously. And your first clue are the lights, because they are all FAA regulated. So who was in charge then? President Biden was in charge then. They knew. They knew. I can tell you that they knew. They knew, and I feel the population was actually being tested. Now, there have been some claims that, and this is what I saw, so don't shoot the messenger here, but some people were concerned that these drones were actually doing sniffing and checking out to see if there was any material that could be dangerous to the population. And what I get with that is that was not true. It feels actually, when I remote viewed that, but I'm just kind of testing it here because I'm like, there's something else to that, and I'm trying to figure out what it is. Again, it was basically testing the population. That's what I feel like it was doing. It was testing the population. I keep getting that over and over again. Was it sniffing for radioactive material? I can't go there. And I haven't seen it remotely. Again, I could be wrong. But I'm getting those drones were to test to see where the population was. You know, what are they going to buy? You know, is it sniffing for radioactive material, which I keep over and over getting no? Was it a pre-planned invasion from another country? I keep getting somebody within our government knew and planned to do that, but it feels like it's testing us. It's testing our reaction. And if they could blame it on another country, it feels like if it could be used for that, I feel like they would have used it. Oh, look, this bad country over here, they're trying to get us. And so let's get our dander up and start fighting back. It was all to see, in my humble opinion, how I'm remote viewing that was all to see what our reaction would be to that. And then they would move from that direction, what they would do. You notice they don't show up anymore, right? All right, let's move on to the alien communication and the wow signal. What I got from the wow signal, oh my goodness, I feel like that is truly ET calling. That is definitely it. I will die on that hill. That was definitely ET calling. There are, and the more our instruments get more and more sensitive as our technology increases, our abilities to see further and pick up more information and more subtle stuff, we're going to have to learn what is natural noises in space. We're not there yet. There's a lot going on out there. I don't think we've even scratched the surface. But we're trying to delineate between what is natural and what is artificial. And that wow signal, that was ET calling. I feel certain. But I feel like it also, they're still sending signals out, but I don't know that we're necessarily recognizing it. Which brings me to the crop circles. And so in the UFO hotspots, the UFO that is silent, hovering over the nuclear bases, I feel that is ET. It's like, y'all, you cannot be over here doing this and destroying the planet. This is going to screw up a lot of things for a lot of us out here. So we're not going to let yourselves, self-destruct, if you will. So I do feel some of that is ET related, that they come over and they will power down if they feel there's a threat. But like Fukushima, they didn't stop that. Maybe they couldn't stop that. I don't know. When they went into a reactor meltdown. There are a lot of UFO crafts that are really us. And again, that is seeing how the population will react, and can it be used later for a control purpose. But there are visitations, and just like I said in my last video on Skinwalker Ranch, or 2 videos ago, that I do feel is an actual alien craft that is buried, and they intentionally buried it because they didn't want our little noses messing around it. And that's what's causing all that disruption in the electromagnetic field. So, both going on. We're definitely getting a visit from ET, but we're also reverse engineering and creating a whole bunch of hooey to see what we can get away with. Now those crop circles. I do feel that crop circles have been going on for eons. And I do feel that either they are interdimensional in nature, or they are ET in nature, or maybe actually both. I kind of feel like there's a layering there too. And it would be so nice if it was black and white, but it never is, right? But the crop circles, there have been people out there trying to hoax crop circles. You have to be able to see that there is a difference. And we know now with our advanced tools that we use, we can see how, I guess, there's nodes in the crops that get bent over, that explode from the inside out, and they're not just crushed over with a board. And so you can tell the difference between a hoax and one that is otherworldly, if you will. And when we get the crop circle that looks like the ET and the Mars, that to me feels like there's a real connection, that they're connecting that to Mars. They are definitely doing that. And then other one to go for the crop circle that went from the message from carbon to silicon, that is definitely off-worlder. So it feels like they are trying to help us. It feels to me, they cannot directly interfere, but they can drop those little breadcrumbs. What was it? I think it was even Star Trek fan here from way back. I don't watch anymore, but they have like a prime directive where they can't interfere. And I feel that's actually real. They cannot, quote, just come in and say, here you go. I mean, there is a maturity process we all have to go through too. But they can drop these little crumbs to help us grow up. And I feel like that's what they're doing. There is a tie to Mars. And I think what I'll be doing in coming up videos is bringing the Mars face. I'm going to remote view that, give you some information on that and what I think happened. And that's actually, that information has always come in, where I do believe that there was a planet between Mars and Jupiter, but it feels more like it was a gaseous planet. So the debris field that is in the asteroid belt doesn't feel as thick as it could be if it were, say, us. We'd have to be a bigger planet than that even. But at any rate, I do feel that there was a planet there, and something happened, and I'm going to remote view that and let you know. And that Mars was either a moon, but it was in its, if you look at it, there's a side of it that's just completely blasted by debris and a black mark, and the other side is smooth. And that tells you everything you need to know right there. There was an event that was catastrophic. And we're going to remote view that. And the other thing that we're going to start remote viewing is, what did they find in Egypt underneath the pyramid? Oh my, if you've not heard about that, we're going to be remote viewing it. So stay tuned. Anyway, please give this a like, and if you could, hit the subscribe button for me. I really appreciate it. It helps me so much. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.